All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commerce. My name is Pascal Atuma, and to my left,
Suraya.
Val.
Ola George.
House of Commerce.
House of Commons.
Hey. All right. I want to say thank you to the viewers and thank you to our fans, the ones that are sending us messages. It's helping us now. So now we don't even have to think about the topic. You guys are picking the topics and we just have to dig into it. So this one came from Rondo in San Antonio. San Antonio.
That's Texas.
Yeah. San Antonio. Rondo says that he was specific. He wants to talk about black health and fitness in the black community.
Wow.
Health and fitness in the black community. He explained this way that a lot of blacks refuse to go to the hospital unless something gets critical. A lot of blacks do not get yearly checkup.
Wow.
A lot of blacks do not like taking medication and definitely don't know the road to the gym. And another thing he talked about was food in the black community. So he complained like this. He said in his community in San Antonio, they are bringing in a lot of fast foods, and when he goes into the rich area of the San Antonio, there's no fast food restaurants.
Wow.
So he says, what could you guys do to educate our people to be health and fitness cautious? So, going with this, I'm going to start with Ola. Ola,
Hey.
let's talk about health and fitness in the black community.
So health and fitness in the black community, I think as you just touched on, it's something that there are people within the community that are very pro health, very pro fitness, but of course there's aspects.
Percentage.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's aspects that are absolutely not focused on it, and I think that comes from the past as well, where a lot of times, like the things that we typically eat, even within North America, like America, Canada, the Caribbean, a lot of times it's the type of chitlins. The type of the tongue, the liver. You're getting the chicken back. The chicken foot soup. These are delicacies. When you eat them, they taste really good. But really, the parts that you're picking, the oxtail. Oxtail is one of a delicacy as well. But again, it's the tail of the ox is what you're really eating. And it's like, why is that? And again, that's historic. Because that was the food, that was the leftovers, that was the food that during slavery times and other times when you're buying something at the market, those were the cheapest items. So therefore, up till now, for whatever reason, we still eat them like they're like they are our breasts. We eat the chicken breast like it's the chicken foot. You know what I mean? Or we eat the chicken foot like it's the chicken breast, right? And it's the historic side of it. It's not an excuse. It's just saying, what is it? And sometimes people don't even remember. They don't even realize, like, hey, hold on here. That is the real reason. Because to me, like halal meat and some of the kosher meats and stuff like that, they only take from certain parts of the animal because for their religious beliefs, they believe that you're supposed to be taking it from certain spots of the animal because it's more healthy for you. That's what's kosher or halal.
Are you attacking meat?
I'm not talking meat, just jumping into the meat specifically, just to start, because that's one of the key things.
I just wanted to pinch that in because it sounds to me like
no.
my delicious oxtail.
I love the oxtail.
Meats are staples.
All right, go ahead.
Meats are staples. The same way, whether it be the Caribbean, different places, we love our fish as well. We love our fruits, we love our mango, we love all of these things. But sometimes the reason why we draw for some of the things are those reasons. Then on top of it, sometimes too much salt is being used, so high sodium levels, high blood pressure. All of a sudden now then the fast food, when we throw the fast food in there, it's just like take everything and magnify it by 10. There's no vegetables. You're eating mostly carbohydrates. All of a sudden then obesity levels are extremely high within the community and outside the community as well. But it's extremely high. Diabetes. Children getting diabetes, adults getting it's just like a rampage of diabetes happening as well. And again, a lot of times it's related to food. So people talk about health and fitness and they think that, you have to, it's the gym or, you get sick. That's not necessarily it. A lot of times what causes people to maintain weight or lose weight, it's the food that you eat. So a lot of times if we just change our eating habits, and with a minimal like exercise, you know, walking, gardening, running, whatever it is that, you know, makes you happy, boot camp if you really want to do that. But the biggest thing is our eating habits, you know. And I'll throw something in there since we're talking about the sodium side of things. If we just change from table salt to sea salt, half of the high blood pressure and all things will go away almost immediately, because our body needs salt. Our body, like when we cry.
I'm too black for this information.
Well, that's the thing. So as the more I go into it now, and I learn, because our body, we need water, we need oxygen, but we need salt. Our tears, everything we do, it's like salt water. When back in the day when there was certain war and they had no blood to do transfusions, they used salt water to do the transfusion, because it's almost a similar makeup. I'm sure VDD could comment, Val could comment on that. But it's in regards to just us eating better. I'll just flip it now to the health side. If we could just incorporate the things that our ancestors and our elders used to eat, you know, the garlic, go down, get the bush across the street, you know, adding more things to our diet, like just simple as like lemon and baking soda. Simple baking soda, ingesting it with a little bit of lemon, you would be amazed at what it could do. It brings cancer levels down. It helps to maintain your good health. Like, so just the key to me right now in the day and age we're in, besides the things that we see that says healthy in the store, go back to the actual original ingredients and do it yourself. And I find that's the best way to address health within our community, especially.
Okay, Ola, thank you. VDD. Oh, VDD. No, let's go to Suraya. Let's go to Suraya. Suraya, let's go to you. So the topic from this guy in San Antonio is health and fitness. He's very concerned about health and fitness in the black community. But he wants to talk about it, which you had all I give her own points. What do you think is the problem?
I think it's, as far as the black community is concerned, it's actually tricky, because most of the families in the black community actually cook. And if you look at some of the instructors out there regarding fitness and health, they always encourage people to cook, because it's healthier to cook at home. Most of the fitness instructors out there, or the health conscious doctors out there, would always recommend, or most of them do recommend, that we need to cook at home, or cook your food so that it's healthy that way. But as far as the black community is concerned, most of the people actually cook at home. But it's the kind of food that we cook at home, like deep fried, fried chicken, fried fish, dumpling. Everything is like fried fries, because you want the crunchiness. They do cook the vegetables, maybe the steaming vegetables. Some cultures in Africa, like they'll make the vegetable stew, and people don't eat salad that much. You know, because they just, if they have to make the vegetable stew with fufu, who wants to add salad on top of it, you know? So because of the kind of food in the black community, some of it probably in Western standard is not healthy, because of the kind of amount of calories that are in those food. With time, it does increase, you know, blood pressure, obesity, and all that. But if you flip it to the Western standpoint, or the Western point of things, in Canada, including the US, most of the franchise, say like McDonald's, someone will just go and station them in areas of where there's poor communities, and most of the poor communities happen to be blacks. And it's very cheap, like the whole family of 6 can probably spend maybe $7 or $8 for dinner or breakfast. And with people that are living below the poverty line, that is really cheap and it's efficient. And people actually choose that as the best way to go. The whole family will go to McDonald's for breakfast, then they'll go there for lunch, and they'll go again for dinner, come home with leftover fries, and you know, life goes on. And with time, you find a lot of illness that these people start to get over time. But it is tricky, and I think that is what affects the health in the black community. And given the fact that say in Canada they have the free healthcare, but in the US you have to pay for your healthcare. Tell me, this group of 6 family that rely on McDonald's because it's cheap, when are they going to go and pay for healthcare to go, you know, for checkup, for example? That is the last thing in their mind, because if you're already living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any leftovers to go and spend in health, right? But then if you flip it,
So you're saying that poverty is part of the problem with health
big,
and fitness in the black community?
that can be part of it. That can be part of it. But if you come to Canada, for example, they have free healthcare, and still you don't find a family of 6 going to annual checkup, because in Canada and New Zealand there is free healthcare. You have to have a family doctors, and there are certain conditions in Canada that will require you to pay from your pocket. And if it's a family that is already living paycheck to paycheck, unless they work in a company that offer health insurance, they are not going to spend their extra money to go for medical checkup. And with time, you also end up with health condition. It's like some of them can't even afford to go to the gym, to pay for gym, because to pay for gym coverage. So that is also an added condition.
Okay, Val, let's go to you now about health and fitness in the black community.
Yeah, but what is health, basically?
You define it.
You have to look at health by definition. They have different models that they use in defining health. So if you go with the biological model definition of health, where health is defined as the absence of disease and infirmities, so you're just looking at individual model where if you're not feeling sick or you have the absence of disease in your life, you're healthy. If you look at the World Health Organizational definition of health, so they define health as, I think, the absence of someone who is healthy has a physiological, psychological, biological, physical, mental well-being. Balance, right? That's the definition of health. But from my perspective, as a critical social theorist, I look at health in terms of the determinants of health, especially in the black community. Things that, the social determinants of health, things that determine health. You made mention of it, you alluded to one of those determinants, which is poverty. You're talking about education in the black community, you're talking about finances, you're talking about job securities, you're talking about income and income distribution, you're talking about early childhood education, you're talking about education just in general within the black community. You're talking about racism, and this have effects on our health. You're talking about discrimination. You're talking about marginalized communities, discrimination against black people. All these social factors, housing, food insecurity, all those things affect all those issues affect the health of especially the marginalized communities, especially the black people. So now, if you look at education, right? Education it's a biggie because it affects the whole thing. If you're not well educated, you cannot secure a good job. Your job security is down. And how can you be educated when the system is against you? You're put in public schools or like schools that are in remote areas where you don't have access to good facilities or good teachers that will teach you the proper way. So when you come out of high school, you're not well educated, you don't have that degree, you can't even go to college to secure jobs. What you're gonna do, you're gonna end up in McDonald's, you're gonna end up working menial jobs that pay you minimum wage. And how are you gonna survive? That's gonna lead into poverty. You're talking about single parents, black women, which is prevalent in the black community. They are the most poor. Single black women are the most marginalized people in North America. They are single, they have kids, they don't have, some of them are not even well educated. Even the educated ones, the odds are stacked against them. You know, one, you're not well educated, you can't get a job, you can't secure a good job.
So you're blaming the system?
I'm blaming the whole thing, the whole system. These are the determinants of health, especially in the black community, Pascal. So you're looking at job insecurity. You don't secure a good job. You're looking at racism, and then when all those things are stacked up against you, you don't even have you don't even have what it takes to go for primary health care, primary checkup. You know, there are 3 dimensions. You have primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention in terms of health. So primary prevention that's when we should be targeted. That's where you get your immunizations. That's where you go for checkup. That's where you don't have the disease. They teach you education to work out, get a membership in the gym, eat healthy, and do this and do that. But you're not educated enough. You can't access those. Accessibility is a big thing. You can't access those services because black people, we're already down in the totem pole. We don't have access to good healthcare system, good healthcare facilities. You know, in Cleveland, I went to Cleveland, in East Cleveland. It's so funny how the demarcation is. There's the part of Cleveland where it's mostly black. They don't have good hospitals, and just across where you have like a white people, they have Cleveland Clinic. They have all these good hospitals situated right there. And in the black community, they have like just one hospital, and they have prison, and they have like fast food restaurants all around, and liquor store, and everything targeted in that community. You know, so these things will definitely affect the health of people. You cannot blame. So I don't usually do the blame game or saying you have to eat healthy or you have to exercise. I look at it systematically because everything is stacked up against us as black individuals. Not until we start thinking upstream, then downstream, then we'll be able to address this health disparities that we see in the black community.
Okay, good. Val, I like your excuse and I like what you said about the system, but I'm gonna...
It's not an excuse, it's reality.
It's reality, right? I'm gonna use my grandparents and their time, those people in their own time, to let you know it's not about the system. Those who wants to face good health, who wants to live a good, healthy life, will live it, poor or rich.
No, no,
poor
I disagree
or rich.
with you.
Those who wants to live a good, healthy life will live it poor. Let me tell you why. Those days in the villages,
okay,
it's like we use African villages. What kind of food do they eat?
Natural food.
Natural food.
Yeah.
What was the what do you call it? The age bracket lifespan then? Lifespan was about 80 to 90 to 100.
Back then? No.
Yes, because my grandfather was 99 years old.
The lifespan, now people live longer now than they live back in the days.
No.
All around the world, with medical technology, with the improvement in technology and science, people live longer. The lifespan in Africa back in the days for average, but even in North America, the lifespan in the world was about 40 years old.
Like I said, I'm using my grandparents, right?
It was high as well.
It was high then,
it was high
right?
in the West
Good.
Indies.
Because my grandfather, he ate okra from his farm.
Okay.
Vegetable, organic from his farm. Corn, cassava, yam, palm oil. Everything they produced, they were eating organic food, right?
Right.
The meat they ate was bush meat, fish they got from the river.
True.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
True.
And my grandfather was 99 years old before he died.
Okay.
Right? My grandma was 90-something too before she died. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were not rich. Like you claim the system, if you don't have money, it leads to... Do you understand where I'm coming from now?
I'm listening to you.
I think, now if we talk about education, my grandfather was an illiterate. My grandma was an illiterate. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think it all depends on upbringing and the society people find themselves in and the lifestyle people choose to live. I strongly believe that because now, I met a man in the gym when I was 66 years old. 66 years, very healthy. All he is what? He's a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. I will never be a vegetarian. I like my oyster. I like my fish. I like my cow. What do you call it? Cow leg or cow feet? I'm Nigerian. So we eat all that. I eat all that. But this guy was 66 years old in the gym, right? Very healthy. So one day I asked him, I said, hey, how old are you? He laughed. He said, you don't want to know. I said, I'm 66. I said, what is the secret? This guy said since he was 21, the only thing that goes in his mouth is what? Vegetables. What is the cheapest thing out there? What is the cheapest thing out there?
Actually, vegetables.
Vegetables are not cheap.
I don't think
Vegetables are not cheap.
It's processed.
Vegetable is not cheap.
Vegetables are not cheap.
They are not.
Healthy foods are not cheap.
Vegetable,
Healthy
if you
foods
go
are
to
not-
restaurants and you want to eat, you order steak and shrimp. And someone come in and order a meal of vegetable only. Which one will be more expensive?
Of course, the steak.
Well, at a restaurant.
At a restaurant, it's
Restaurant is
steak
different,
because
yeah.
you went to a restaurant. But
Okay.
go to a regular store or go to a regular store and you just buy a bag of lettuce. It's like what, $7 or
But
$5?
for me-
And especially if you buy
I don't-
organic.
Yeah,
you buy
you want
organic.
your
vegetables.
organic stuff.
Okay, organic or not organic, you see, I'm one of those people that still believe that when you go to the store, you say this one is organic, this one is inorganic, and that's all games they're playing. I believe it. How do you verify that this thing you're telling me, this banana you're telling me is organic, is organic?
Well, I hear you because in the past, organic was organic, but the organic now, it's a 50-50 because a lot of the big companies have now come and bought out all the smaller organic companies.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 now. But dude, there is a difference. I could tell. You could sometimes. I'll just throw this out there. Eating certain fruits and certain vegetables. Sometimes you eat. I had this apple. I'm like, this apple doesn't even taste real. Like I bit into it. I'm like, there's something wrong.
Even the
with this apple.
tangerines.
Something tastes wrong. It didn't say not real, but it just doesn't taste right. But the organic lemon. So I buy this bag of. You could taste the potency of the citrus. So I was like, okay, this probably might be organic.
Yeah, so me
50-50.
so me personally, I consider laziness. Laziness, number one of the main reasons health and fitness in the black community is that it's not that well. Too much TV watching, sitting on the couch.
That is
Simple.
both black and white.
Okay, well, yeah, but we're talking about our community, right?
Correct, yeah.
3, technology. People spend 4 or 5 hours sitting in one place looking at Instagram. People spend another 2 hours looking at Instagram. As a medical personnel, right? Is it good for a human being to sit down one place 6 hours just manipulating a machine?
Oh, definitely, it's not good.
Sounds
You
nice.
You understand where I'm coming from?
you cannot be immobile for that long.
But now people do more than 6 hours. I'm just saying people do more than 6 hours sitting on it. Now let's talk about fast food. If anything is cheap in this world, in America, Canada, or Nigeria, if any food is cheap, be careful of that food. Because how come when you go into the very wealthy neighborhoods, very rich neighborhoods around Canada, Australia, US, you don't see a lot of fast food restaurants. But when you go into the poor neighborhoods, which predominantly most of the times black neighborhoods or Spanish neighborhoods, you see McDonald's, Taco Bell, This Bell, Pampu Bell, chicken wahila, chicken fried, chicken toasted, chicken one board, everything. That's all kinds of fast food. And then soda, they'll give you oversized cup of soda. Super size. And you see a little kid with one super size soda, one big hamburger, with fries, only 1 kilo. Wow. Your health. In that situation, you want to talk about the system.
Pascal,
No,
you just contradicted yourself.
No,
That's
I
just
didn't. No,
yes, you just did.
no,
That's what
no,
you did because
no,
that's the
I'm not.
system.
So, hold on. That is
You
the
just
system.
said why is it that if you go into the
You know,
impoverished
that's what I'm trying to
neighborhood,
tell you.
you have all
Because there are
this
people who not
restaurant.
buy. I don't buy fast food. I'm not a
You can't say
millionaire.
because there are people who that buy.
But you don't understand.
But that's not what it is.
If you establish a business somewhere and that business is not flourishing, what will you do?
If I know I'm establishing a business and I know that business is going to get me money at a neighborhood,
And you put it there, and that neighborhood,
and the neighborhood is
it's not buying
it's
it.
not. If the neighborhood is not buying it, I'll take it to where people are going to buy it.
Okay, see, good.
And even if my business, technically, most of this business, they are not for your interest. They are for their money.
They're for their money. Okay, so
You
that's
know,
what.
so they don't care about you. So whoever, if you're starting a business, you're not starting a business. A white man is not starting a business for the interest of black people. He's starting a business for his own pocket.
But
so that's part of the system.
The white man putting the fast food in your community, did he come to your door and knock on your door and force you to go and buy?
Well, he's not forcing you to buy that, but that's what is around you. You tend to eat and buy and sleep and do things that convenient. That's what you're accessible to.
Okay. Oh, so the fast food is only that.
If you have how many? Of course, that's what's accessible to. How many healthy restaurants do you see?
Valentine, I don't agree with you.
Yeah, you don't have to agree.
I don't agree. Yeah, you know why I don't agree with you? You can move me into a community now, right, where there's fast foods everywhere. I've not eaten fries in how many years? I've not had soda in how many years? It's not about money. But do you understand what I'm saying? This is not about money.
But
when I drive by,
it's not about personal preference.
No, it's not about money. It's not about money.
It's about
hold on. When I drive by some fast food restaurants, I wonder what people do there. Do you understand
people
what I'm
are
saying?
eating.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
People are eating. People are still eating.
I wonder what people do there. So what I'm saying is this, because we're talking about black community. My own take on it is this. Just because they build it in your community, you don't have to buy it.
No, but also it's the financial situation these people have.
Money has to do with everything.
Not everyone can afford to go to the grocery.
What can you farm?
Every 2 weeks.
How many farms do you have? How many farms do you have in New York City, in the Bronx? How many farms do you have in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
How many farms do you have
Do you have to live in
Southside Chicago?
Do you have to live in the city?
But it's that.
Where else are you gonna live?
Where else are you gonna live?
Where else are you gonna live? Yes. You don't have money to live in
living in the city is a choice. You know,
living in the city is a
Actually, living in the city is a little bit more expensive.
Okay, it's expensive. That's what I'm saying. So there are people live in the country, and some country people live healthy.
And some of them are still sick.
Some of them are still sick. See, what I'm saying is this: everything, your lifestyle is a choice.
But let me use an example.
Yeah, it's two ways. I mean, I'm not gonna dispute.
It's a choice.
I'm not gonna dispute that you don't have a part to play on how you live, but the major thing that affects you and how you live your day-to-day life is system controlled, and you cannot dispute that fact, Pascal. You are educated, you went to school, you have a good job,
When was the last time you ate Taco Bell?
I've not eaten Taco Bell in a long time.
When was the last time you ate at McDonald's?
Like, I had Burger King, but I've not had McDonald's in a long time.
Do you know what I'm asking you all these questions?
Yeah.
You know why I'm asking you all these questions?
Why?
Because you made a choice that's not what you need for your own life.
But
that's not that, because part of the choice comes with being educated.
Okay.
Part of the choice comes with having that education, but when you don't have that education and that's what you
work in the hospital, right?
Right. And that's what you see.
Most of those unhealthy looking doctors and nurses we see in your hospital doesn't mean they're not educated.
Well, that's where it comes to being choice, right? So that's why I told you it's two ways. You have a personal choice to play, and then you have your system controlled that affects the choices the environment that affects the choices.
So,
like all the food.
We can agree that it's both
exactly.
ways.
So it's two ways.
Okay.
But the bigger impact is the environmental social factors. Political, environmental, social factors affects the health of black people, and you cannot dispute that.
Okay,
example, guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Guys, okay. Some of your example will work best in an African setting. So, for example, in Africa, I'm going to use an example of Africa. Most people in Africa, in most recent years, we've had an issue of urbanization where people will leave the villages and move to stay in the cities. You have someone moving probably from, I don't know, what state, Abia state, and moving to stay in Lagos, or someone leaving their village, I don't know, Jinja, going to live in Kampala, for example, or Nairobi. With that, it comes with a lot of, once you move to the city, it comes with a lot of challenges. One, you don't have a farm. You're not going to go and pick vegetables and cook and just make food and you're good to go. But that is something that would be convenient if you lived in the villages, because in the village people have farms and people farm. You have access to okra and all these things. In the city is different. Now, you have to pay bills. In the village is different. You didn't have to pay bills. You lived in a big home, maybe ancestral home from great-grandfather, maybe 10-bedroom home, a big mansion. You don't have to. But in the city now, you have to pay bills. So there, and once everything, and then you have to work, because you're in the city now. You need a job to sustain your living in the city, and that comes with a lot of challenges because of paying bills and other things that come into play. You're going to assess your health and eating habits, and one of your eating habits is going to be what is closest to you. If it's going to be a fast food joint, if it's going to be a grocery store that is going to be most convenient for you to buy from, you will come home and cook food. And if cooking food is going to be difficult because you are busy at work all day, you need something quickly and you're very tired, you're going to drive by a fast food joint. Even in Africa, they have a lot of fast food joints.
That's the choice.
But that is you make that choice based on the situation you are in, because you made a choice to leave the village and come to the city. It's just like people will leave certain countries. You leave, I don't know, you leave Nairobi and now you want to live in Canada or in the States. But remember, you're living in the city or in New York, there are no farms. You know, the lifestyle is going to be very different. You need job. You're going to need a job. You have to pay bills. You have to pay your electricity bill, all sorts of things. And you are used to eating vegetable, yes, but now it is very expensive to buy vegetables.
Very expensive.
What are you going to do? You're going to live according to your means, and part of living according to your means is, if it's going to be cheaper to eat breakfast in McDonald's and then have hamburger for dinner, that's what you're going to do for the next 2 or 3
But the thing about it is, I'm just going to jump in here I just want to kind of jump in for a second. In regards to the topic of health, all the topic of health is a choice, you know? So whether, I hear BDD saying, I hear Suraya saying, I hear Pascal, I hear all the systematic stuff because I understand, you know, the way the cities are planned, what can go in this neighborhood versus what can go in that neighborhood. But then, so for example, say that the odds are stacked against you. Everything is stacked against you based on some of the things that BDD was saying. So then the reality is we're here, 2018, and what are we going to do to eat healthier? What are we going to do within our lives? What are we going to do for our children? So that now that we know better. So 10 years ago, maybe we didn't know better. So some of us, we didn't have all the statistics to know how bad McDonald's was. Compared to us, there's some fast food that is not so great, but there's some that's really bad. There's a scale on even which fast foods are not so bad versus
like the one that Val likes to eat at.
Yeah, I love my burgers.
Right. So there's some of them, like they show now, there's something called Super Size Me, where they could shows that the food, like I think he showed like some French fries and a burger and something else, and to show how the body, you know, just it didn't even get mold on it. It wasn't breaking down. And like they left it out, and they were seeing how long it took for it to actually, you know, become trash. Whereas if you put a fruit next right there, like you put an apple right there, you take a bite out of it, I'm sure by a little bit, you know, it's going to start turning brown. It'll start doing, you know, it will start dying, right? Like it'll, you know. But the point of the story, so therefore that's what's doing in your stomach. And a lot of times the issues that a lot of people are facing, it's their intestines. It's their digestive system. It's the food not being broken down. It's the steak they had 6 months ago that may still be in their trap.
It's the fat they put into their system.
Whether it be fat, whether it be sweets, whatever the topic is, the body may not be processing it. So for example, so the key is to me with all of these topics that yes, you're in an environment, you may not have as much money to make certain things, you may not have a certain amount of money to buy certain things, but then within everything that we choose to put in our mouth, we have to make a choice. So when we're at the grocery store, are we going to spend $2 more to buy that pack of spinach, or spend $2 less and buy a pack of fries? You know what I mean? So it's almost like, yeah, but I feel there's called balance. There's nothing.
Do you know your choices are very controlled by what's happening around you?
The choices are controlled.
Your choices are
I understand that,
controlled
I understand
by what's
that.
happening.
But the key
if you have $10, Ola, you have $10. That's what you have in your bank account.
Yeah.
Home, abroad, everywhere. Yeah. And you have a kid, a 4-year-old kid, and you want to eat. You're thinking about today. You don't know what you're gonna. Your food insecurity. You don't know what your kid's gonna eat tomorrow, or the next day. Hold on. And McDonald's is selling Happy Meal for $1,
okay,
and then you hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, I got a response for you.
And you have that $10, and maybe to get a fruits and vegetables somewhere, you have to take $5 bus ticket to go to the next town to buy a vegetable for like $3, and then you don't have $5 ticket to come back. You have $1 meal to feed yourself and your kid for the next 3 days. What are you going to give your child?
Everything. I totally have an answer for you.
Okay.
So with $10, I'm gonna kick it old school, like what my mother and my father taught me. In life, when things are low, when you don't have a lot, go back to your staples. A pack of flour, a little bag of flour, you have your water, you have a little bit of salt in your house, you have a little bit of sugar in your house, you can make, you could have a little bit of butter in the house, and a carton of eggs. So if you want to get a 6 carton of egg, that may be $2 and change. Buy a $2 bag of flour. Water's free in the sink. You already probably have salt and sugar. From that, I can make bread for my children. From that, I can make some, potentially even some sweet bread, depending on what else I have in the house. I could probably even, may not sound great, but I'm able to make boiled dumpling, fried dumpling. If I have a pack of rice, that's $1.50. A $2 pack of rice. That could stretch it out. So what I'm saying is, so if I want to keep it real, if there's a who feels it knows it. If anybody on this couch or anybody in life has ever felt where you're running low on cash and you may not have the big money to go do the big meat splurge, you go and buy a pack of split peas. You make a big pot of soup like this. You put a little bit of split peas, crack a little bit of noodles inside of that, cut up a little bit of vegetables, whatever you have in the freezer. You throw it in that pot. That pot will last you 5 days, 4 to 5 days. So what I'm saying is, what he just described with $10, I'm not saying it's the most ideal situation, but the first choice does not have to be the fast food place. The first choice is what can I do in my cupboard? What can I buy as a staple to bring into my house that I can make? Maybe bread is not the most 100% that you want to give to your children because they talk about carbohydrates, but it's damn sure better than the bread that McDonald's has.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the answer to your question. There's ways making it home.
I'm with you on that. But let's go to conclusion on this, right?
Okay.
I think we've talked about it. On my own side, right? I still believe and I still think, and tomorrow I'm going to believe that everything you do has come to do with your health and fitness. It's your choice. Yes, the system might affect it, like you said. I give you an example, my boys that record in Nigeria, my boys in the studio, right? I give them 1,000 naira per meal. But yesterday, one of the guys called me and said, have you guys eaten tonight? He said, yes, right? I said, what kind of food, how much was the food? He said, oh, okay, today we are forced to buy food 800 naira a plate. I said, but you're giving 1,000. He said, okay, no, we've been eating where they sell food, 300 naira a plate. I said, bros, I hope you guys are not eating where you will get typhoid fever soon. And he said, okay, pray for us. I said, no. I said, no, I can't pray for you in that situation, right? If they get sick by eating food where the food is sold at 300 naira a plate, do you understand what I'm saying? We don't know the kind of water those people are using. We don't know what those people are. Those people might be the people buying the cheapest thing they see, the cheapest meat out there to cook. Do you understand what I'm saying? If they get sick in that situation, whose fault is it?
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault?
No, it's not.
Did I not give them money to eat food where at least it will be reasonable?
Before you start giving them money, do you know their situation?
But they probably went back
before you knew their situation, do you know what they're trying to save? How much they're trying to save? When that money that you're giving them stuff for being that period, do you know why, if they're saving to sustain them long term? Okay, see, now you want to save and get sick. You can't blame them. 1,000 naira. Where I'm coming from? Yeah. No, it's not in the village, right? In that area where they are, I'm not going to mention the place where they are, right? In that area where they are, at least they should eat that 800. Pascal, that's what you think. Yeah, but you don't know their situation. They could stretch it probably. Yes. Okay, what about if bus fare, other things? They don't get 1,000 naira every day like that. 1,000 naira? You know 1,000 naira a day. They were giving 1,000 for morning, 1,000 for afternoon, 1,000 for night. And you want them to be eating 1,000 for morning, afternoon, and night? At least I want them to eat. Even me myself. Well, I know you're doing it. You want them to eat healthy. Yes, because I want them to get sick under my custody, under my watch. Your custody is going to end one day, brother. Your watch is going to end. But you know, I get your point. Right? I get you. So in that situation, when someone don't get sick or something,
is their fault.
There's individual causes to sickness. Like when you know better and you don't do better, that's your fault. Like you know that not exercising, living an immobile lifestyle, eating, high carbs.
Do you know that if you eat, I'm sorry to cut you off, do you know that there are some people, even if you pay for gym for them,
they will not go. Right. So
they're not motivated from inside.
They don't have that motivation.
So in that case, you blame the system, eh?
No. You're not getting me. Individuals.
I'm just playing with you.
Yeah. Some people do. Some black people do bring on health, chronic health issues in their lifestyle, in their life, based on the kind of lifestyle they choose to live. That's a given.
Yeah.
That's a given.
But as I was saying that people live their life better based on their choices. But in most cases, actually, the choices they make is based on their financial condition.
100%.
Just like the kids, you want them to eat a plate of $800, but they're saying that they're eating 800 naira, but they're eating a plate for 300 naira. But it's because of their condition, they're making that choice based on their financial situation.
Right.
Because they want to stretch it. So if someone is giving them 1,000, that they can eat 3 meals out of it. Yeah, so that is basically a personal choice based on their financial condition. Because they have seen that by going to 300 naira, they will at least save from the money already giving them.
Absolutely.
And again, as I said, because of the financial situation, they can save it. And probably they have other demands that requires probably extra financial assistance, and that is the opportunity to actually save and save that money accordingly.
So that system is finance that's causing the choice of food.
Now going back to the situation of health in the black community, we are still talking about
health and fitness,
health and fitness in the black community. And again, we've touched a lot about the choices that people make, and I think this is a classic example. If you look at some of the black communities in general, why will someone decide to go, say, for a McDonald's rather than going to the grocery and actually buy a healthy meal, go home and prepare? And what we've left out is that some of the black communities in the Western world, not even Western world, even Africa, most people don't know how to cook. So this is so that is another situation that people
spend more time doing makeup to put on Instagram than
learning how to cook. An hour to put on the makeup, the Instagram, the perfect eyebrows, and they don't know how to cook.
And take booty pictures.
But they don't do a cooking class.
Instead of learning how to cook.
You two got cooking classes too.
I like those pictures.
Madam, did you hear it?
A lot of people like those chicks.
See, you're part of the problem. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's conclude. Go ahead, conclude on this.
Yeah, so that can be part of the, I guess, the factors that is impeding most people in the black community to live a healthy lifestyle. If you don't know how to cook, you go to grocery store and buy all these things. Who's gonna prepare for them? Maybe you can't even afford a chef. To have the chef come and prepare the meals for you. So the other option for you is to eat out, and if you have money, you can eat in restaurants a few times, and you can supplement by eating fast food, McDonald's or Taco Bell or whatnot, and then you just keep going, and that's how your life is. But without realizing that you also need to look at your personal health. Some people don't even, I don't think they even think of going to an annual checkup every year or every 6 months to see how their health is doing.
They say if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah, but I feel if most of us in the black community are taking that extra step of looking at their health, they might probably do things differently, or maybe learning how to cook, or maybe making better choices instead of going to the McDonald's across the street and actually going to the grocery store or do what
That's why I told Val it's not about the system. That's why I told Val it's about choice. So Val, can I ask you a question? Yes, can you go? Yes. Val, when was the last time you did your medical checkup? Forget the question.
Just me.
Continue. Okay, but let's conclude on this. What could our people do? What advice do you give? How can they beat that system? Even with the system.
We're talking about things that are fixable. when you look at the Black community, some things are easily fixable, like, you know, certain choices that you can make within your power, within your grips. You can make those choices. It's even as simple as learning how to cook, right? So you can do that. You can still slay. You can still be a slay mama or slay queen, and then learn how to cook.
Total
like
slay
that's
mama,
it.
you can cook.
That's a positive.
The best slave mama is the one that can cook.
Exactly.
You can still be a slave mama and learn how to cook too.
You can still be,
have your apron on as a slave mama cooking.
You can still be a king, and then you know how to cook as a
You got my fresh fish pepper soup.
Exactly. Pascal cooks today, and I enjoyed it. You know? And
why didn't you eat McDonald's?
And those are little things that you can fix. I mean, you can, if you don't have the finances to go to the gym, you can go to, I know in Africa, you can go and get those tire rims and, you know, get poles together, get sticks,
cement.
or, you know, lift them, go to the park, like a community park, and do your, you know, push-ups and do just regular jog, regular exercise. Yeah. So you don't need to have those huge facilities. But those are things that are individually we can fix within ourselves. But things that we cannot fix, that we need, that are socially, politically controlled, we probably need something bigger. Like we can't, like racism or things that are systematically affecting our health, right? You know, we cannot fix those. Those are not quick fix, right? You need political changes for those things to happen.
All right, thank you very much. Ola, let's go to your conclusion, please.
So my conclusion on this one, in regards to health, it's something that affects each and every one of us, because then not only just us as adults, but then, you know, whoever has children, now your habits will now go to your children. Whatever they see you making is what they're most likely going to make. And what you teach them how to cook, that'll be their staple foods that they actually themselves know how to cook, and then they'll add to it. So, you know, they eat all that other stuff outside, but they know the right way to go. The thing about it is, I find right now with health, fitness, eating right, you know, we're talking in one of our other shows regarding just mental health, but it's also physical health that's also key. Also, just the natural things that we actually put within our body, you know, going and doing those checkouts, as well as the food that we're actually putting in our body on a daily basis. Learning, there's so many beautiful YouTube videos out there regarding the healthy things that we can eat, not just the things that they taught us in school that we should eat. I'm talking about the natural, like there's a book my mom used to have called Back to Eden, where you're going back to the original things. So instead, where you would use your garlic and your lime and then your honey and your cayenne pepper, and how important it is sometimes black pepper is for your body to ingest things. Things like baking soda, apple cider, things like sea moss. Also, I have a friend that she takes a lot of these tonics, like, you know, like this, like almost like seaweed, like almost like these moss tonics. That is good for flushing. It's also good for cleansing, you know. Another thing, I remember growing up, my father used to always say, when's the last you take a purge? You know, like, what do you mean, Dad? No, I don't want to take one. And it's so important to cleanse ourselves. So we're supposed to be, you know, we put so much in, but we got to take that time to flush out, you know, whatever is in there, as well as fasting is a good thing as well. Our body sometimes just needs a little bit of a break. You know what I mean? So all within health of eating good, living good, putting the good nutrients and minerals inside of us. It's also, after we do all of those things, the other things we can do to maintain ourselves, which is fasting, giving our body a chance to rest. On the spiritual side, but also on the physical side, is really good for us. So I would say if each and every individual going forward, even if you're not at perfect health today, if all of us just make a conscious choice that, you know what, going forward, if I usually don't have vegetables, let me just throw one vegetable on the plate. You know, going forward, if I really, you know what I mean, if I like to go to McDonald's 5 days a week, let me reduce it down to 3. You know, and you're like, what? That's step 1. Step 2 would be, then I'll go get yourself checked out, go take a walk, you know, drinking. And another thing I'd love to share with everybody is one of the biggest things that I've learned is water. If all we all do is just drink at least four of the liters of the water every day, we'll all be in perfect health. Because a lot of times when people are sick, they have back pain, headache pain, even sick, cancerous things. it's lack of water. Our body stores the extra reserve of water in our back. So sometimes lower back pain is an association with a lack of water. So just adding, you know, we want good fresh air, sunlight, you know, getting those vitamins that our body actually needs when that sun hits us. You know, sometimes people feel a little melancholy. Get outside, let the sun hit you. Even in your house, you open the window, it makes you feel a little bit better. Okay. So just go back to the basic staples we all know and then add to what you already know. There's so many YouTube videos out there teaching us all, you know, versus, you know, eating the kale salad versus the iceberg lettuce. That there's no real value to that. Yeah. So just learning those little things, incorporated in our life and then the children as well.
Yeah. Okay, my own conclusion is very simple. Get up your ass, stop sitting on that couch, take a walk. Take a walk. You don't know how to cook, okay? You want me to agree that you don't know how to cook, but you know how to sit on the internet and learn every new app that come out, Snapchat, Chit Chat, Fake Chat, Poop Chat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If the app come out today, you learn it. The same way you can sit on that YouTube and learn how to do all those apps. Sit on that YouTube and learn how to cook for your children. Some people don't understand. Cooking is actually cheaper than eating outside.
Oh, very.
Yes. Because when I first moved to Los Angeles, if I didn't know how to cook to survive, I wouldn't have made it in LA because I didn't have money to eat out in LA. LA is not that cheap to eat out unless you want to eat fast food, which I chose not to eat. So everybody can learn how to cook. The same way you can learn how to do that makeup and take it to the next level and start looking like a masquerade, you can also use that system and learn how to cook and become a chef.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
at least a sous chef.
Okay.
At least a sous chef.
Okay, for those of you that know of Davido, the Nigerian singer, the girlfriend captured him through food, and that's how Joba got assurance.
She got a Porsche.
So please save your children. There's no excuse. As far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse for living a life that's not healthy. Don't be like me. Something happened. I went to the gym and I was competing with this little boy, and the back finished. So don't do that. Don't push it. People are laughing. Don't push it to that level. Know your age. Know what you can do. Yeah. Even age has to do with food too. It's not everything that the young kids eat that you, the old man and old woman, can eat.
Your body can break them down the same way.
Yeah. If they have injury, they can recover in a few days. If you have injury, it's a few months.
Pascal, back is gone.
my back is finished because I was competing with this little Chinese boy in the gym. Now, before I go, tell them about
actually, just to add to your conclusion, we also have to give a big ups to some of the black communities, people in the black communities that are actually living a very healthy lifestyle. So it's not everyone.
People like me.
Not everyone in the black community are, you know, relying on McDonald's, or they are poor. They cannot afford certain things. There are others that can actually afford a lot of things. They can afford health lifestyle. They can, you know, afford going to the gym. They know, even though they can't go to the gym,
they can afford to run on the street.
Yeah, there are those that have invented certain ways of, you know, living a healthy lifestyle. Also, they can afford, you know, seeing good doctors and all that. So it shouldn't be an assumption that everybody in the black community are suffering of good health.
He didn't say that, he just said majority.
I know, that's a majority, but just to highlight it that, so someone doesn't think that that is what happens in every black communities, or doing all the frying and whatnot. There are a good number of people in the black communities that do live a healthy lifestyle. They are living upscale lifestyle, great jobs, and you know.
All right, thank you very much. How do they reach you on social media?
Suraya Issa, Facebook, Instagram, in LinkedIn.
Okay, all of them. Snapchat. Okay, and you? How do they reach you?
VDDVal.
And you, Ola?
Ola George _.
Okay, and Ola talk about Diamond Pictures and talk about
also, you can check us. You can check out the House of Commons on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. The House of Commons, as well as we have a new merchandise line. We're really excited. We ourselves just ordered some stuff, and we're gonna have some new mugs that says the House of Commons. You know, some shirts. You know, some dresses. So it's on Redbubble.com.
Okay.
So please check it out. You get some House of Commons merchandise, also Diamond Pictures merchandise.
Okay, and for me, it's easy. Pascal Atuma Twitter, Pascal Atuma Facebook, Pascal Atuma Instagram. I don't do Snapchat because I spend my time learning how to cook. You guys have a peaceful life and a healthy life. Health and fitness for all people.
Live well.
Get off that couch.
Live
Get off that
love
couch.
life.
Go run or something.